we've spoken about in other videos around communication and how you would talk to people in the office. It's different to how you would talk to people out on site. And when we're looking at communication, there are so many different types of personalities. And then on top of the personalities, we've got the way that people learn and how they onboard information quicker than other ways. And when we're looking at communicating, it's different for everybody. Not one size fits all. And this is something that we find all the time with every company, even if they look very similar on the outside. When I get underneath the bonnet, they're not. They're completely different. And even how I communicate to different people within the business is different, because at the end of the day, my intention is to get the best out of them for them. It's not about me, it's about them. And it was quite funny. We went on a leadership retreat with a leadership team, and we were going through different personalities and understanding what different personalities need from conversations, from communication. And as I was going through and describing all of these and talking through, one of the leaders poked up and said, "That's what you do to me." And I started laughing. And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, you actually slow down and you take the time to listen, for me to comprehend what you're saying. You allow the silence. You sort of go at my tempo, and I feel really heard and understood, and I feel safe." And I said, "Okay." I said, "But is that me? Is that if you are now knowing what you now know, is that how you would communicate with me with these new skills?" And he said, "No, because that's not how you communicate." And I'm like, "Okay, so why am I doing that? Why am I changing my communication with you?" And he said, "Oh, because then you get the best out of me." And I said, "Yes." I said, "And that's my whole intent as a leader, as a coach, as a consultant, is to get the best out of whoever I'm put in front of and to make them feel safe." And I said, and then someone said, "Well, but then that's changing who you are." And then I turned back to the other leader and I said, "Okay, so I have a question for you. Do you recognize me any different to who I am today, to who we are when we're in your office talking?" And he said, "No." And I said, "So would it be true the fact that my personality is the same, just my communication style changes?" And he said, "Yes, absolutely." So it was a great insight for them to see that you can change your communication to who you're talking to get the best out of them, because that's our intent, rather than changing who you actually are. And this goes with any types of communication, of, being really contextual with what you're communicating about. Don't just be really high level of, stress is really impactful and it's dangerous for your health and it's dangerous for, your mental health and your physical health. It's an impact. It's like, yeah, okay, that's nice. Whereas if you sort of say, when you're stressed, you can feel really frustrated. And what that looks like is, if we don't deal with that, we can go home and become really ratty with our family and push our kids away. And all we want to do is just breathe and just find some space and just, just to have some time out, but we can't. And then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, I feel like that too. It's contextual, they can see, and now they're going to listen. So look at how you're communicating, make it contextual to who you're talking to, and tell stories or events or examples of what you're talking about looks like for them. Because stress for people that are admin, draftees, anyone's, sort of, that's just starting out in their career, their stress levels are going to be completely different to someone who's a chair of a board or running a global company. Stress is different. I'm not going to talk to them about the same examples because it is going to be different. So be contextual, be intentional, and look at who you're talking to, and how can you change the way you communicate with them so that they feel safe, they feel heard, and that you're getting the best out of them in that situation. If you've got any questions, as always, feel free to reach out. Until the next video, take care.